Stevie bashing the mainstream media again? Stevie going after the current and former dump divers in the WNBA again? What the hell's going on here? Why do I find myself lately agreeing with some of these people that used to be proud deacons at Woke United Methodist? Well, Casey, it's because you're a sellout. You sold your soul to the mainstream. Well, for starters, that is not true. And secondly, you're looking at this the wrong way. It's not me selling out. Maybe, just maybe, it's the media buying in. I keep telling you guys about this shift that we are seeing in the mainstream media. Maybe they are finally trying to appeal to normal people. I feel like this coming season is a monumental season for the WNBA. I don't want to call it a make or break season. This dump has been broke for 30 years. If the past 30 years of huge embarrassing failure hasn't convinced the NBA to break them, then another season of failure and missed expectations, that's not going to do it either. Adam Silver, he is afraid to stand up to the dudes in the NBA. You really think he has got the courage to stand up to the women in the WNBA and Bob Greiner? The reason I think it is a monumental season for the dump, this could potentially be the year that they accomplish the impossible. This could potentially be the year that the WNBA does the unthinkable. The year of our Lord 2025. It could be the year that the WNBA finally generates a single Colombian peso in profit. Historically, the WNBA loses around $10 million every year. Last year, even with the increased attendance and increased ratings, the WNBA managed to quadruple their annual losses. And they found a unique way to lose $40 million thanks to the brilliant strategy of Kat Engelbert giving WNBA players chartered flights. They can't afford the front seat on the Greyhound bus. They need to get their CDL so they can drive the bus to save on expenses. But instead, Kat Engelbert, she decided to spend someone else's money to give them chartered flights. Doesn't make sense to me, but what the hell do I know? I'm just some dumbass creating content on YouTube. I have no experience in the business of pretend basketball. But this could be the year that the WNBA finally turns a profit. But in order to do that, they have got to get the hell out of their own way. Instead of alienating Caitlin Clark, instead of expressing their jealousy and outrage, they have got to give people a reason to watch pretend basketball. Because the product on the court, it ain't good enough. I don't think the drama, the on-court and off-court drama, I don't think it is necessarily bad for the WNBA. But the problem last season with their drama, it seemed to be rooted in race. And if there's one thing normal people are tired of more than anything else, it is the failed business of mythical racism. Problem is, judging by the reactions that Caitlin Clark received from those associated with the WNBA after she won the Time Magazine Award for Athlete of the Year, judging by those reactions, the WNBA, they have not learned from their mistakes. Which is exactly what Stephen A. Smith was pointing out when he once again called out the WNBA for their jealousy of Caitlin Clark. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Are you struggling with back problems? Do you deal with minor aches and pains throughout your day and you don't want to go to the doctor because all the doctor is going to do is find something else wrong with you? Or even worse, prescribe addictive medication that you don't really want to take? Me personally, I hate going to the doctor, so does my wife who actually deals with back pain, which is why she started using CBD lotions and oils from Sugar Mountain Trading. No, it ain't THC. It's not going to make you fail a drug test. These CBD lotions and oils, they are designed for rapid pain relief. My wife, like I said, she deals with nagging back pain from time to time. We have tried over-the-counter stuff. We've tried the chiropractor. Nothing works. Within 5 minutes of me applying CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, her pain is gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. My wife, she keeps a bottle with her at all times. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers CBD bar soap that will keep you pain-free and smelling fresh at the same time. The CBD bar soap, it comes in a variety of flavors ranging from lavender and cherry almond. All CBD products at Sugar Mountain Trading, they are 100% natural and 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Stephen A. Smith has been critical of the WNBA for a while now. Obviously, he's not critical of the product on the court because he probably doesn't watch it. But Stevie has been critical of the behavior, the jealousy, this weird resentment that WNBA players had towards the only player that is capable of turning this dump into a polished turd. Who knows? Maybe Caitlin Clark will turn the WNBA into a league that people actually watch and respect. Earlier this week on his YouTube channel, which is far, far better than what we see on First Take and ESPN, Stephen A. Smith addressed the overreaction to Caitlin Clark winning the award for Athlete of the Year. Now, for those that don't know, there was a lot of resentment towards Caitlin Clark for having the audacity to accept this award. Employee number one in the WNBA, the original pooper swooper Sherry Swoops, she questioned the qualifications required to receive this award. Oh, I don't know, Sherry. How about Caitlin Clark averaging over 1 million viewers in a league where you could combine a week's worth of games and not reach 1 million viewers? How about Caitlin Clark moving WNBA games out of high school gyms into actual NBA arenas? Or what about the fact that the diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelbert, she felt the need to approve chartered flights, even though it was a bad business decision? Because for the first time ever, fans were actually showing up to airports to see a WNBA player. In the past, WNBA players could walk through the airport unnoticed. More people recognized the janitors than recognized WNBA players. But due to security concerns for Caitlin Clark, Kat Engelbert approved chartered flights, and that is the only reason that they were approved, because the WNBA damn sure could not afford the expense. But Stephen A. addressed the jealousy, the resentment of Caitlin Clark throughout the WNBA. Watch for yourself.
You see why I had to go off on the likes of Cheryl Swoops and others who were clearly distant and dismissive of her, no matter how much they try to deny it? There was resentment towards her. And here's why I said it was stupid. Because when she came into the WNBA, for 22 plus years, they had been flying commercial. They were begging for chartered flights. She arrives there, and 2 weeks later, they got chartered flights. Clearly, things are on an upward trending trajectory. It's improving, and she has everything to do with it. People were resenting her for it, like she was the cause of the problems that they had for the lack of recognition. No, she just happened to be born white. That's it. Caitlin Clark hasn't spoken against anybody, and there were sisters resentful of her. Be resentful of the system. Be resentful of the folks, primarily the white folks, who basically disenfranchised y'all all of these years before she came along, who denied you the acclaim and the allure and the profits you richly deserved. But you don't take that out on Caitlin Clark. You don't run away from people who support you. You run to them, especially when they're in a better position than you to help you.
I am in 100% agreement with Stephen A. Smith, except for one small comment. He might be a reformed deacon at Woke United Methodist, but even though he might be reformed, you clearly can't take all of the woke out of the woke. Stephen A. Smith said WNBA players should be resentful of the white people who disenfranchised them all these years. He said they should resent us for denying them the recognition and the profits they so richly deserve. There's that word again, deserve. That is the main problem in the WNBA. They think they're owed something. I was having this same conversation with someone the other day, one of my friends. He was complaining about his salary, complaining about his company taking advantage of him, claiming he was overworked and underpaid. It was all the same things that I used to complain about before I quit being a victim and decided to do something about it. Now, even though I empathized with his situation, I told him it took me years to realize that my former company, they owed me nothing. They were going to pay me what they thought I was worth based on the value they thought I provided. If I think I'm worth dollars and they're only willing to pay me pesos, that's their call. They don't owe me anything, just like I don't owe them my time. It is the very foundation of capitalism. If you think you're underpaid, prove your worth, increase your value to get paid what you deserve. But for the longest time, WNBA players, they haven't been willing to do that. They want to be paid up front no matter what their value is. Before Caitlin Clark, the value of the WNBA was literally nothing. And you could make a strong case that the only valuable player in terms of ratings in the WNBA is Caitlin Clark, because she's the only one people are watching. That is the only point where I disagreed with Stephen A. Smith. White people were not ignoring WNBA players because of their race. White people weren't ignoring WNBA players or disenfranchising them because of their gender. The entire country ignored the WNBA because they did not provide value. They didn't give people a reason to watch their product. And it wasn't just white people. It wasn't just men who weren't watching the WNBA. Women, they were not watching either. But other than that, Stephen A. Smith was absolutely right with his criticism. It's going to be interesting to see how Caitlin Clark performs this season. Not on the court. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal basketball player, a real basketball player, not pretend basketball. Her game will be fine on the court, but going to be interesting to see how she performs on television. I know a lot of people were pissed off with her admission of white privilege, more specifically, her mentioning other people's white privilege, but I don't think that's going to be enough to turn people away. What's going to be interesting is how far will Caitlin Clark take it? How bad does she want to be accepted by other WNBA players? Was this a one-off comment in Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was trying to share her spotlight with other players? Or is this her mindset? Is this her mentality? If it's mindset and mentality, the WNBA is screwed. But what do you think? Her comments on white privilege, was that just a one-off? Was that Caitlin Clark's attempt to try to fit in with other WNBA players? Or do you think that is her mentality? If it's her mentality, if it continues, do you think it'll have a detrimental impact on the WNBA? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Best way to contact me is through email, btlkc84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys tomorrow.